Hey, everybody. Welcome to Open the Gates. I'm your host, Matt Burke. And today we have on Hojo, and he's going to be talking about his book, Sign Up for the Mythicals. So if everybody could give a warm welcome to Hojo. And Hojo, welcome.
What's up, man? What's going on, guys?
How you doing, brother?
I'm bad. Not bad.
How was the Halloween, man? Oh, see, he'll be coming back here in a second. One moment, folks. I got his campaign up right here. And here we go. What up, Hojo? I was going to say, how was your Halloween, brother?
It's pretty good.
Nice. Me too, man. Yeah, I did a little bit of the Day of the Dead. I didn't really celebrate that much. I was telling one of the other guests on here, my wife's from Mexico, and kind of want to do a little more of that. You know what I mean? On the first and second, you're honoring the fallen, but it's cool though, dude.
Right.
So we did a little chicken and Mexican chicken stuff. And,
nice. Yeah. I spent some time in Mexico. I was stationed in Arizona. RC Cola.
Sweet. I knew you were getting that because
oh man, God,
I love the stuff, dude. It's hard to find.
Yeah.
Not drinking any brewskis at the moment, but yeah, I might hit some later. But yeah, man, that's awesome. You want to tell the chat a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Hojo to everybody here. It's H. Wayne Desper. I'm a writer. That's gonna be my first book. I'm from Virginia. I was in the military for about 6 to 8 years. Joined the day after 9/11. Came up with an idea for the comic book while I was overseas, and just never got to do it.
Now you're here, huh?
Yep. Yeah, I found Comicsgate. I found all this stuff just one day, stumbling around online, looking at some art, and one thing always leads to another. Twitter's a rabbit hole of either goodness or just terribleness.
Yeah, man. I just use it for promotion and shilling. Yeah. That's pretty much all I use it for. It's a cesspool for the most part. But sometimes you see some good art in there, and you meet some cool cats in there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But yeah, that's basically what I use it for. And yeah, we got a lot of people in the chat today. ID Crisis, what's up, brother?
What's going on?
Yeah, man. You want to maybe tell us a little bit about your book coming out? The
Mythicals. It's I call it a supernatural action mystery that revolves around a level M. It's like a government strike force comprised of creatures from myth and legend.
Ooh, okay. I like that. I was checking out your sign up page, and I saw on there it had a couple of different influences that you kind of threw out there. One of them was X-Files, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. It's like a puzzle in this. Like every panel has a purpose. Every page there's a plan. Like I only get 24. It's only a 24 issue floppy, so you can the whole team isn't even introduced in the first issue.
Oh,
but there's a long arching narrative. I can't cram everybody, and I got to give a lot of people the spotlight. So there's this long overarching narrative that goes from issue 1 to issue 13, and then I'm just cutting it off. It's done.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I've already plotted out 13 issues. I've got 5 scripts written already.
Dope.
One's fully edited. This one, obviously. And so we're cooking.
Hell yeah, man. I was wanting to know, like, who are some of your like influences, man? Like art, like we're talking the back a little bit. You're a kid from the '90s, like me too. And writing too. Maybe there's a lot of stellar people coming out around that time as well.
Writing. I mean, I'd say Chris Claremont, really, and Peter David. I'm a big Peter David fan. I mean, his work on the Hulk. I mean, that's my favorite. The Hulk by far. So I mean, his run on that, and that's the first time I ever saw Dale Keown, and now he's here. Like he follows me. It's like I fanboyed out to my wife, and she's like, "Who the fuck is that?" I was like, "Just never mind." But whatever. So I mean, it's cool. So I mean, Mark Silvestri and the Image people,
right?
Like Art DeBear, I watched him today. Like he was on X Factor, like the Peter David run. Is excellent. I can't recommend it enough. Let's see. J. Michael, I always mess up. Is it Straczynski, the Babylon 5 guy? And like,
I think it's Straczynski, yeah.
Yeah. And his run on Spider-Man was pretty legit, man. I like that. But just world building, like just to be able to tell a tale, conceptually over 13 issues, or in their case, years of issues, and not miss a beat. Like Claremont could plant seeds, it pays off years later.
Right.
And it's crazy. I mean, you can get grandiose like Alan Moore, who'll write like 5 pages for one panel. But you just gotta you got to feel it. Like the story just came to me, and like one day I was just like, my hand couldn't stop writing fast enough. And so I went and did sketches and stuff like that. And I was going to present this cross-gen, but they went out of business before I got back from overseas.
That's how you know you're onto something good, when something takes over your hand and you're just like, what the fuck? Ugh. That's how I came up with my last book. Yeah, man. It was like in the middle of the night. I woke up to go. Me and my wife had a little argument or a disagreement. Went to bed, woke up, ran downstairs, and just started writing all this stuff and these characters and everything just started popping in there. Yeah, man. Thanks everybody for stopping by.
Hail.
X-Files. So I loved the X-Files growing up as a kid.
Oh, I know. I love that show.
Thought it was pushing the boundaries of television, what you could do with the genre on network television. I also like Millennium with Lance Henriksen. I think that was the same universe.
Yeah, it was. Awesome. They had a crossover episode after Millennium was over with. Kind of wrapped it up, but I wanted more. I wanted like another episode.
Yeah, I wish they would, be. I mean, they brought the show back for a bit, but it was, I don't know, it was kind of lacking in some areas. But my
you
pops
still got
actually,
to see him.
Yeah, you still got to see him. My pops went to school with the creator, Chris Carter. He's from my town, Bellflower.
Oh wow!
So, the first episode of X-Files, they go to a town called Bellflower, and yeah, man, I live in a little weird town. I don't know if it's a lot of different. We have more churches than like per square mile in the country. So if you go down, it's just churches everywhere.
Wow.
A lot of different stuff, and yeah, man, that's crazy. I was happy to see that on the influences and for your book, and also Wildcats. So I knew that you were gonna have some fun,
oh man, I liked Wildcats in the beginning. I don't like what it is now.
Oh yeah, totally. 90s mode is where it's at, right?
I mean, I think Jim Lee, he was one of the most, probably out of all of them, the most competent writer outside of McFarlane. He had something, but I think he just lost it. Like the thread just fell apart, but those distinct personalities in that group dynamic, and to have like Lord Imp running the show, like the guy in the background on the cover with that big guy standing next to him, that's my Lord Imp. He's like he's the director of all this shit, and he's been around. He's seen it all.
He's a shot caller.
Come and go.
Like, I've been sir.
yeah. What's going on?
Yeah,
Pops?
man. What's up, Pops? I was gonna say, man, what's your favorite metal band, bro?
Oh, that's hard, man.
Sorry, bro.
I don't know. Probably Priest.
Yeah,
probably.
Priest is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, then it goes to show, like, what do you define as metal?
Right?
How far back do you go? That's an endless debate. Like
endless.
Some could say UFO is metal, Rainbow, stuff like that. I tend to lean into that too. But
oh, for sure.
I mean, there's always a day that calls for Pantera or multiple days.
Definitely.
I mean, I do have a Metallica tattoo.
Metallica's fucking awesome, dude. I like their
the first album. The first, my cousin, he won't listen to anything after Cliff died, except he said he'll do Injustice for All every now and again, but it makes him sad.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, you can't. Their first album, you can't beat it. I listen to Four Horsemen probably at least once a month.
See, yeah, you can't. And then
classics never die.
They never die, man. And then Priest, man, his pipes, like the whole. Well, I mean, I'm sure you've seen that documentary on Metal Evolution on VH1. 11 hours. Yeah. That one's really good.
Yeah,
they go into all that with his operatics and, how he went over the S&M and stores and brought in the leather and the studs.
Yeah, I mean, how could you? Me and my friend always joke at work. I'm like, he's doing all this stuff, and his friends are like, "Huh? You think he's trying to tell us something?" Well, I don't know. Maybe the line coming on you. I mean, come on, man. How could you not know? Nobody wears assless chaps.
Oh man, yeah.
Hell bent for leather. I mean, what do you think that was about? And he even said it like the VH1. They did the behind the music. He's like, "How could you not know?"
Yeah, right. It was pretty.
I mean, his replacement was that like Ripper or whatever.
I like Ripper too, though.
He
throws down, but he's
it's not Judas Priest.
He was on whatchamacallit, Razor Fist. I think he did an interview with him a few months back, maybe a year ago. It was pretty cool. Yeah, he's pretty dope. And then Iced Earth, they're pretty cool. I like them. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They did a Spawn album, a concept album for Tom McFarlane's Spawn.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it though, but it was pretty cool.
A friend of mine had that CD back in the day.
Yeah, and then well, I had a Dreamcast a side topic game for it was called In the Demon's Hand for Spawn. You could be all these crazy McFarlane characters, man. It was really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was badass.
McFarlane's awesome at character creation.
Totally, man.
There's just he doesn't get enough credit for stuff like that. I mean, yeah, his art chops are top notch, but like his character development, I mean, why do you think Spawn's been around this long? It's not just because it's Image. Like, why do you think now? Like, I mean, you'd say now Spawn's selling out more than it did 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, he's like one of the big books right now, especially the Gunslinger one.
Yeah, the Gunslinger one. Yeah,
I was looking at they did a Spawn 300 a couple years back, and I was doing reviews on them, and I was just like, man, you got all these fucking toys, bro. You got Viking Spawn, you got fucking Ninja Spawn, you got Commando Spawn, you got Samurai Spawn. Why don't you open this world up and make a whole universe of Spawns? You know?
Yeah, because I remember Hellspawn. That was a good title.
Hellspawn. I think Gunslinger right now though. That's the biggest one.
Yeah, it's one I've been seeing a lot.
Yeah, man. Well, shoot. You want to take a look at the sign up page of your campaign?
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
you want me to just share it on my screen? Is that cool?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Give me a moment. All right.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, Odin saying something about a Spawn movie. I thought Jamie Foxx was supposed to do that.
Yeah, he's supposed to. Yeah, he signed up, but man, it's been taking so many years. And then the concept it was supposed to be like L.A. Confidential meets Seven meets Jaws, where you don't really see Spawn too much. You just see his chains and his cape kind of attack people, and Sam Twitch and Sam Burke and Twitch are just going to be kind of looking for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
But for me, I don't want that. I want the whole like big Lord of the Rings, heaven and hell, like characters, creatures. That's what I'm looking for, bro. So, but we'll see.
The first one's a guilty pleasure. I watch it. Yeah. I think I watch it because it's Spawn, not because the movie's good. I'm like, I can't really. The priest character is a little out there.
Yeah, right. Well, you're going every day is Halloween.
Oh my god,
that's a good one. So we got this right here. You're coming out with a trailer. We were talking about that in the back for a little bit, but I'm not going to spoil anything. But it sounds awesome. I can't wait to see it.
If I can pull it off, it's going to be nice.
Yeah, man. Are you in the BPRD at all? Hellboy? Any of that stuff?
See, I mean, I watched the movies, and I think I bought some of the comics after the movies came out. Like the last one wasn't that bad; it was pretty good. But I don't think I ever read the title BPRD. Like I just know the highlights.
I picked up a couple of them, but I was really into Hellboy. The one thing I like about Hellboy is it's just one big story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's decent. It's really good. I like it.
Well, I can assure you, this has nothing to do with Hellboy.
Oh, for jeez.
Like you can call it a faux BPRD if you want, but it is not.
Yeah. Cool, man. It's got more of that. Well, I mean, you were citing Claremont, so I'm thinking it's going to have some of that X-Men team dynamic and Wildcats.
Oh yeah,
with the supernatural and the mystic.
Yeah, because I mean, my time in the Army, like I mean, I worked with teams all the time, like as a squad leader and stuff. So that, you know, I know how they work, and I know how different personalities will just either wreck your fucking day or it's hilarious.
Hell, and thank you for your service.
Yeah, no problem.
I appreciate that, man.
Yep. Happy to do it.
This is our heroine, Nancy Moon.
Mm-hmm. She's like the looking glass, like through this world. You know, there's a setup with her. It starts off with her at a job interview right here. And then by the end of the book, she joins Level M. We'll say that. I mean, it's obvious. She's where you see the world through. Like you're introduced through everything, how everything works. It's grounded in Washington, D.C. It's like Level M's it's a branch of the Department of the Interior, what they call the Veil. Like it's kind of like a double entendre, like piercing the veil, so they guard the veil, and so nothing could come in, like all these supernatural threats. But if there's ever like a calamity or a natural disaster, it can something bad happens, and it can pierce the veil, and something can come through, so they gotta go stop it.
That's awesome.
But a lot of them signed an amnesty agreement to work here to take care of everything, and that. Like that guy right there, he's here and he's looking for something.
Who's that bad?
That's my villain, the Inquisitor.
Okay.
So he's he's on the. If you go down a little bit more, you can see the whole thing. It's him. It's the Peter Gilmore cover.
That's a Gilmore cover, man.
Yeah.
That's metal as fuck.
Yep, and that's for the horror crowd. Like he even took the label, the title logo, and just made it all black. So this whole cover is like just black. The only thing is red. I don't know if I'm gonna get struck by Indiegogo. I contacted Indiegogo about the blood there. They said it would be fine, but who the fuck knows?
Yeah, you never know, man.
So I might just on the campaign page, I might just change it to the non-bloody, and then just you're gonna get a surprise.
When I looked for it, I typed in Mythicals and I found it, but it took a minute. It wasn't like Shadow Bandian or whatever. But
all right, good.
I found it. You know what I mean? But I mean, once it launches, it could be. It just depends, man. Like I don't really know their system or what, but you know, like I have my book up there for over a year, and there's gore, there's blood and guts, and all kinds of shit on there. They don't fuck with my shit, but I'm a little dude, so they don't. You know.
That's what I'm saying. Like I might slip through the cracks.
Yeah. So first 25 backers receive free limited edition print.
Yep.
That's cool, man.
And I already had that made. I'm just putting the finishing touches on that. I'll release that closer to launch day and all that. It's gonna be pretty dope.
Who are these cats right here, man? So you got this dude with this energy power right here, and then you got this dude with the shades. You got this kind of this Gothic looking dude.
That's a vampire there. That's Julian, and in the middle, that's the team leader, the squad leader. You would say, I guess, that's Lucas Beckett, and the guy on the left, that's Daniel Montclair. He's like a techno mage. And he's British, so he's on loan from like this witches. Kind of like a witch's coven from Britain.
Oh wow, that's awesome, man. Are you into the cryptids?
Yeah, I've been meaning to back that from Peter Caicedo, but I've been kind of strapped making this.
And like, are you into like just like the whole just folkloric monsters?
Oh man, I love it, man.
Stupid question, but I thought I'd ask you.
I've been into that my whole life, like monster movies. My mom was big into horror movies, so she was letting me watch like the Hammer horror stuff when I was like 6.
Me too. My pops was putting on Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, and
Dracula AD. I love that one.
Yeah, dude.
That's the trippy one.
We do I co-host with Brian Christgau. I don't know if you know Brian or not, but
we
do a horror movie show on Tuesdays. So maybe you could hit him up and come on, and we can maybe look for something to sync this up. We do movies that are not behind a paywall, that are they're free. So
I've watched a couple of them. I've been on there a couple times.
So that'd be cool, man. You want to tell us maybe a little bit about this dude up here on the right?
That's Daniel Montclair. Yeah, that's the he's got that punk rock look.
Yeah.
Almost like the Billy Idol type. So he's like their Q. He makes all their like little magical gadgets if they need something, or if they need if it's a magical problem they need to solve or whatever, that's him. But he's kind of like he's got like a medical degree, so he's like this. I wouldn't say the Scully. You know how she would always do the autopsies and stuff. Like he's kind of like the forensics guy. And he's got these little squares or whatever. I got the idea for my kid. He's got these little magnetiles. He can throw it, and then it'll open up like a portal to wherever they need to go, so they don't need to like hop around on a jet or anything. So they can just like walk through. Yeah,
fun, man. I can't wait to read it.
And the team dynamic, like the guy on the left, Lucas. I mean, he is just. I mean, he's a smart ass like to the nth degree. Like, I mean, him and the vampire just have this. It's like the odd couple, man. Like he'll never get his jokes, and he just piles it on.
So with the vampire, can you tell us a little bit about that dude? A little.
He's about 2,000 years old. He was a Roman patrician in this city called Herculaneum or Herculaneum, whatever you want to call it. That was the sister city that they always talk about, Pompeii or whatever.
Yeah.
Vesuvius, but Herculaneum was right next door.
Okay.
And so he got turned during that, and had to save a sister. And it's this whole big thing. He's with the Vampire Council, and he's not with them anymore. Let's just say that. And so he's on the team. He's a subterfuge. Like that's your spy, basically.
Your recon and spy.
Yeah,
and
recon.
That's cool, dude. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of not much, but did you ever see that Dracula Untold? That one that Universal tried to. They're always trying to remake Luke
Wilson. Yeah, it was stupid.
I think he got bit by the dude up in the cave.
Charles Dance.
Charles Dance bit him up.
Yeah,
and he was a Roman. I think he was a Roman priest or something in Rome. But yeah, that's crazy, man. Well, shoot, man. Whoever's watching, if you guys come check this out and sign up to this Mythicals, you're gonna be launching probably in a couple months or something like that, right?
I got to check a calendar, man. I don't want to be like that movie UHF going up against Batman in '89. Like, I'm not gonna pick the same weekend as Bancroft, and I'm not gonna be like, "Yo, Michael, when are you launching so I can schedule my book?" And he's gonna be like, so I'm just waiting around. I'm trying to get everything done, wrapped up and lettered, probably by the first of the year.
Well, that's cool, man.
We'll see after that and what's going on.
It's cool to build that list up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then homeboy Bancroft, he's got that, like you were saying, the calendar. We can go there and
and it's only up until this month. There's nothing in December. I check that shit every day.
Oh, sweet.
I watched like Rob Arnold's like how to do all this.
Oh yeah,
I've watched that like 20 times, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of very insightful stuff you could pick from there. You know what I mean? I was watching Tubi. You ever watch Tubi?
I don't think so, no.
So Tubi is one of those free streaming services. They have so much fucking horror on there, but they have these little documentaries. They're all right. They have like Bigfoot versus the Yeti, and it's just produced by them. But they had one on there, was like the top 10 cryptids from America. That one was pretty cool. I was watching that, and they had the Jersey Devil on there. They had like, who was the scariest one? Then they had the Bell Witch from I never even heard of her before. It was like this lady that cursed this town, and I think it was in Tennessee, or this family. Yeah, they had the Wendigo. I also watched a movie last night called Antlers.
Oh yeah, I saw a picture of that on Twitter. It looks weird.
Yeah, and it was directed by Scott Cooper, produced by Guillermo del Toro. But it was a Wendigo movie.
Be good, then.
It was decent. It was decent, man.
Like Pan's Labyrinth, I love that movie.
Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth's awesome, man. That one's I was a big Guillermo fan, dude, for a while. I had a lot, like all of his, like Devil's Backbone, Kronos, Hellboy. I got a new on the Hellboy train when that came out. I was in the Hellboy message boards before the movie came out, and I was like, oh, it's fucking. They're throwing everything in a big gumbo. You got science fiction, action, horror, romance, adventure, Indiana Jones, Nazi mysticism, all that crazy shit.
Oh, he was gonna do an Incredible Hulk show at one time.
I remember that.
And I was so fucking pumped. I was like, and they're like, we're not gonna show the Hulk, and I was like, I don't even care. Like, I don't even care, because he would, like, his character development is just, I mean, it's amazing. He's a supremely talented. I wish that Justice League Dark would have come out too.
Dude, that would have been sick with Constantine. Yeah, I heard they're making a Constantine 2 with all the same cats, same directors, Keanu Reeves. Even though it's like it's like LA Stintine.
Yeah, but, he's probably smoking a vape pen now. I bet you. I bet you, man.
I almost met Guillermo del Toro. I seen him at the Comic Con, and I was walking with the wife, and I was just like, "Oh, there's Guillermo." She's like, "Let's go meet him," and I'm like, "Yeah, he'll be there later." And nah, I missed him. There was a bunch of cats that I wish I had. Walter Simonson was another one I wanted to meet. Frank Miller. I got to meet Neil Adams, so that was cool.
Oh man,
yeah.
Like every time when somebody says Batman, like, to me, I think of the Neil Adams, the gray and blue suit. I love it.
Yeah.
I wish we could have seen that on film.
That would have been kind of cool just to see. Like when I was a kid, there was a store at the mall called Cartoon Junction, and they had this big old Neil Adams Batman toy I always wanted. And I remember, like, finally I got it one year for Christmas. So I still got it though. I still got it. It's beat up. I let my kid beat it up and play with it now. So it's kind of like an heirloom.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, man, what's your favorite movie, bro?
My favorite, like, horror movie, or just favorite movie in general?
Just favorite movie.
Oh, Gladiator, man. I could, like, if it's on cable, I don't care. I don't like whatever's on, unless it's an important sports game. Then I'm sorry. I'll put it on. I don't care what part of the movie it's at. It could be the last 10 minutes. I'll still watch it. I mean, I love it. I love it. And I'm a big fan of the movie Platoon. That's a good one. But it's just because I was watching that a lot to prep before I joined the Army. Turns out it was nothing like that.
Something totally different, huh?
Yeah. But we were still using Vietnam's training. It's kind of stupid. But the American military is always one step behind in their training, or they used to be. Like, they're always training with previous technology and tactics. That's my only criticism of the military.
I was a big fan of Gladiator also, man. I like that movie a lot. I like to see him kind of go up through the ranks and get just the whole arc, getting his revenge, and seeing the whole the battle scene in the beginning with the Germania.
When he's like unleash hell. Oh my god!
It's like you don't even need that part, really.
Yeah, I know.
But I do.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes it just that much richer. You know what I mean?
Braveheart's a good one. I mean, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. So it's Batman Returns. There's a bunch of them out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a Christmas movie. Yeah.
It is to me.
Christmas movie.
It is. If it's Christmas, if it's set at Christmas, and I went to the movies to see it at Christmas, it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Whatchamacallit, I don't know if I read or heard or watched an interview with Ridley Scott. He was saying that Gladiator was like the first movie in his Crusade trilogy, like Loki, and also he has Kingdom of Heaven with Orlando Bloom. That one's pretty awesome with the Templar Knights, and then the third entry was Robin Hood with Russell Crowe.
Yep.
I wasn't really a big. I enjoyed it. I bought it. I actually have 2 copies of it, but I like Prince of Thieves, man. That's my favorite one. That's my favorite Robin Hood movie.
Man, I took this my girlfriend when I was like 10 years old to see that movie.
Yeah. They had the toys and everything, dude.
Yeah, I did. I had like this little play set.
And then you got Sean Connery is coming in there at the end, and I don't know, just Alan Rickman was funny, and what's his name, Top Dollar from The Crows in there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Michael Wincott, Morgan Freeman, Christian Slater's running around. I don't know, dude. And then they have all those fucking tree houses and stuff. It was just a cool movie.
Yeah. And then as much as I hate Bryan Adams, that was a catchy tune back then.
Dude, I like that song. It was catchy too. But did you see the new Jamie Foxx, Taron Egerton Robin Hood?
What? No.
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 So the beginning, it has this graphic novel like animation like intro sequence to it, and they just really just made a whole loose, low-key ninja fantasy like version of it. So it's nothing like anything you've ever seen before. To me, the closest thing would be like the Guy Ritchie King Arthur. To be honest with you, though, I wasn't a fan of either of the 2 films. I was really hoping, but those are the characters that get rewritten redone every 9 years or so, 10 years. I still think Excalibur is the best one though, bro. For me,
for sure. I mean, it's a long movie, but I mean, I used to smoke weed all day and watch that. It was nice, man. Like, I do like the Arthurian stuff. I'm not really. I don't think I could ever write it and give it and do it justice. I was a big. My favorite Disney movie is Sword in the Stone.
Me too. Yep. Yeah. I like the I
like that little fight scene where they're all turning into the animals. That shit is the bomb.
Yeah, that shit's hard, dude.
Yeah.
I also like just the whole movie's cool. I also like Robin Hood, and I never watched it that much. I've only seen it once, but it was the Black Cauldron. That one's pretty metal. Something different.
Did you know Tim Burton was working on that before they fired him?
I know he got fired and rehired a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm never going back again.
Yeah, they treated him like shit.
He said Dumbo was like him. That was his last movie, but like he's
Dumbo
I
read that.
Yeah.
Poor guy, man.
Yeah, the Bryan Adams, was it on Robin Hood, Summer of 16? Right? The Antoine Fuqua version is his favorite, ID Crisis. That's my second favorite. I love that fucking movie. I put it up there with Excalibur. It's just it's kind of loosely historically accurate, but the Knights of the Round Table, you got like Owen Grufford, you got Ray Stevenson, the Punishers in there. You got Hannibal, Mads Mikkelsen. Like there's just like an all-star cast of these badasses.
Yeah, that one guy was Mr. Fantastic, right?
Yeah.
He was in a show that me and my wife watched. It was like it lasted one season and it got canceled. He was an immortal. It was almost like Highlander, but mixed with the Incredible Hulk. Like
that's
he was
dope.
going and helping people and
I know
stuff.
What you're saying.
And but there was this guy. It was like this asshole. He was in Game of Thrones, like the one that took over that cottage and was raping all those women or something. But he was like another immortal that was like stalking him throughout history and shit. But it was pretty cool. I can't remember the name of it.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't. The name escapes me. But yeah, man, that movie was cool. Also, Stellan Skarsgård, the big Saxon in there, man.
Yeah,
He just really like just brings the movie, like he just takes it up to another notch. And then I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, the director's cut. It's a little bit more gory and
okay.
I don't know. That one was cool, man.
That's like didn't he play Tarzan a couple years ago?
His brother, his son did.
Okay, yeah.
So he's got Pennywise, which is Bill.
Yeah, it's Bill.
And he's got Northman, which is Alexander. Then he's got Gustav, which is Floki from Vikings, and then he's got himself, which is up in the they're all from Gothenburg, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because that Tarzan movie was pretty legit.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun.
I'm doing like the Son of Tarzan and like an out of obscurity project for Luke Stone and Arrow Comics.
Really?
I think Odin's doing something in there too, maybe a cover.
Oh,
and,
sweet.
The guy from Broken Compass. Who is that? Like the name escapes me right now. He's got Magnificent Bastards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of that book. That looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's got a story in there.
Barbarian. I actually watched that last night. It's on HBO Max. Was not what I thought it was going to be. I came in there watching the movie and thinking Pennywise was something, and he turned out to be not what he was. But the movie was all right.
Yeah, Bunny got it. James Rock.
Heck yeah, man.
Bunny's got a story in there too.
Is this going to be like a kind of like a Savage Sword of Conan?
It's a collection it's like a collection of like 4 to 6 page stories using public domain characters.
Ooh, nice.
Some of us are updating it. Some of us are keeping a classic story. It's just an anthology of it's a lot of unpublished writers and a lot of characters that people forgot about, and you just everything's coming out of obscurity.
That's cool, man. I really like the Black Bat. My grandpa and my dad and my uncle, they got me into a lot of those older school like the Shadow, the Phantom.
I love the Shadow.
The Phantom and the Shadow were his two favorites. I even like those movies, man. The 90s kind of resurgence when they came out with the Rocketeer, the Phantom, the Shadow.
Oh, the Rocketeer and oh man, I'm not so much on the Phantom movie. It's okay, but I mean the Shadow and the other one, that was great.
Yeah,
I love the Shadow. I mean, Alec Baldwin, say what you want about him, he's a good actor.
He was solid in there. There in the Beetlejuice.
I mean, they combine like the 3 different versions of the Shadow. But when he would like take his scarf off or whatever, his nose, it was just like the old pulp comics. It was nice.
Yeah, and he would have been a good Batman. I always say too, like when he's the Shadow, he turns into William Baldwin, his brother.
Yeah,
kind of looks like him.
Yeah, that guy's funny.
Yeah, and I like the Phantom, and I also liked I'll throw it in there too. I liked the Mask of Zorro.
With Antonio Banderas.
I liked Anthony Hopkins in there. He's a badass. I always like seeing him in a movie where he's like an older badass, like the Wolfman or he's fucking Zorro. You know what I mean? Those. But yeah, dude, that's cool. Back to what you're saying about bringing back those old school characters and writing some stories about them. Was it Von Klaus? He did the Black Terror. Tearing the Trenches. That book looks pretty badass. Yeah, me too. I did a little piece for the fan art contest. That was fun.
Sweet.
Lots of good stuff, man. So you got that coming out right now? You got
I think the plan is the end of the year, and then I might try to piggyback off of that and then launch my book after that, so people can see that I'm not a fucktard when it comes to writing.
Oh no, man, that's cool, man. Like the people get to see what you're doing with the mythicals, and then you put that out. You start to build up your cred or whatever it is. People see who you are and they know what you're all about.
They're 2 totally different stories. I mean, like this. I mean, you can almost call this a horror comedy too. Like when I say it's kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like Joss Whedon is good at weaving in comedy and making it work. And not because Marvel now, the way they're doing like their comedy, it just doesn't hit. Not every movie is Iron Man and Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I think that when movies are restrained by budget and you have talent in there creating the films, that's kind of when some magic could take place.
Yep.
And if you get people that are coming from horror that do decent, that know how to do the makeup and all of that scary stuff, smoke and mirrors, like Guillermo del Toro, for example. If you look at his Blade movies and Hellboy and Blade 2, you could see he really stretched the dollar, even Hellboy 2, and they get creative. And even when he had money to spend, he would say, let's make a prop of the tail and let's CGI the tail. That way they throw the eye off, and stuff like that. I think me and Brian Christgau were talking about the Universal horror monsters. They're always trying to remake them.
Why don't they ever do Creature of the Black Lagoon? Like,
it's a good
that's
one.
never been remade, man. Like, you could actually take it forward. Like, when he comes back on land, starts turning into a man. Do something with that.
No, that'd be cool. Like, kind of evolve into a human or something.
Yeah.
And maybe into like I don't know, maybe like a serial killer or a slasher. I don't know, something. But give him a small budget. Give him like 50 million. Like, I think that's where we really use our brains. We got to get creative and really think about the stuff for movies. Before I die, I'd love to make a horror movie. You know what I mean? Something cheap and fun, and maybe shoot it on my phone.
Like,
that's
I'll
bucket
tell you,
list.
like you talk about like B movies and C movies. I was an only child, so I read a lot and I watched a lot of TV.
Me too.
It happens. So I mean, there's this horror movie. It's called Night of the Demons. It was like late 80s.
Yeah, I remember that.
Her name's Angela. Like, that budget, if you go back and watch it, like from this standpoint, now you're like, oh, they didn't have a lot of money, but like the way they created, like with camera angles and the way they created like that transition, like those scare scenes, like the jolt moments. I mean, there's a scene where like they're using a strobe light in there, right? And she like bites this dude's tongue off and spits it back at him. But when you're looking at the fucking the strobe light, you're just like, oh my god. And like, it's a shock. That's it. I mean,
shock and seizure.
I mean, but just look at what they did. And they had another scene with like a mirror, and then they just fogged out the mirror and filmed something on the other side of it. But it was just creepy. But like stuff like that, and the makeup was on point.
Oh yeah, man. Like, and we're talking Creature from the Black Lagoon. Was never remade because they had the world's greatest free breather to do the stunt work. They really pushed his limits. Insurance.
Wow.
And yeah, that's true. When they did the second one, it wasn't the same thing. Now you need to get like a dive. I mean, Guillermo, he always wanted to do it. That's why he did Shape of Water. That was, he had Doug Jones in there, floating around in there. And that movie was good too. So that was cool. But man, they need to reboot that verse, man. That was the first really big shared universe one,
didn't they?
They keep trying. That one they tried hard though. They went full in.
And then they did Invisible Man. Right?
Yeah, and he wasn't invisible. It was just like a Marvel villain. He just a dude in a suit. I don't know. Like
the Kevin Bacon one. That was.
Oh yeah, the Verhoeven
Hollow Man. Yeah, that was.
That movie's hard. I love that movie. I used to watch a young Josh Brolin, not Goonies young, but a young Josh Brolin. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's restraints are always what are gonna make us more creative. And even with the CGI nowadays, man, it's just they just use it so much.
It's a crutch. It's a crutch. They can't. It's like a calculator. They can't do simple math anymore.
Yeah, and I think that the makeup effects, like the whole that job title, like with the Boteens and the Winstons and the Bakers.
Oh, the guy named Screaming Mad George?
No,
he did a lot of the old Freddy Krueger stuff. Like if you look at I used to have this VHS documentary of the making of Nightmare 4. And he's in there. He's the one who did the roach thing and all that stuff with that chick where she busted. Oh man, that's fucking nuts.
No,
he was like he was famous back then. He just went away. Like Steve Johnson, I think was another guy.
Yeah, man. I think it's a dying art form. I mean, you don't really see it that much.
Like Night of the Demons, that movie I was just talking about, they had flawless makeup.
Yeah, and just with the animatronics too. So you're gonna have to build stuff too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Just all the crazy stuff they did with like even with the Raimis, they did with the Evil Dead movies. Those some cool camera tricks they did in there. They had nothing. They're just a bunch of kids in college doing it,
Yeah. I'll give a hot take right now. I don't really care much for them. I like
that's cool.
Army of Darkness. I love Army of Darkness.
That's my favorite one.
I never liked that. Maybe Evil Dead 2. I didn't really care much for maybe it was the second one. It was a little too corny for me. I think the first one was actually scary.
Definitely. Yeah, the first one's just straight horror.
I love Army of Darkness. It's hilarious.
I love that one. That was my favorite. Most people are like,
treasure.
oh yeah, they're like, how dare you like that fucking movie? That's not you. I don't give a fuck. I like the first one. For me, it's scary as fuck. The second one's splatstick, little scary here and there. Third one's just like Jason the Argonaut, Sinbad.
That's it. That's the one I don't care for.
That's why I liked it. And it reminded me of a Gargoyles a little bit. And it had the whole Arthurian legend going on there. Eric the Red. But I really loved the TV show, man.
Corny in a good way.
Yeah, a lot of corn. Like, yeah. I really like
talk, baby.
Just pillow talk, baby. The TV show, though, man, I love that TV show. But as the seasons kind of went on, it got kind of fizzled out a little bit. but it ended strong. I thought. Back to I was thinking about the CGI blood, man. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. Like people just, I think the human eye, like we know when things are CGI involuntarily. It's a primal thing. We have no control over it whatsoever. And sometimes we just don't like shit because our brain's telling us
it's not real.
Fake.
You know it's not real.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, I want to like it, but I can't. It looks like rubber.
Shark looks fake.
Yeah, and that's just like the hunter in us. You know what I mean? We're like, no, that's us.
It's not real.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, it's
the only time you'll accept it is if it's a video game.
Yeah, no, man, video games are awesome. Like sometimes they're even better than the movies that are coming out. But right now the video games are getting kind of whacked too. I think I think the pinnacle of video gaming was Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
That's when I stopped.
And I took it out, put it in the garage, and I have a lot of those games out there. Like I love the Conan game. A lot of people, Ron Perlman voiced him. Dude, it was like God of War. He could do all these.
I had no idea that existed.
Gory, like gut ripping people in half and
ripping
their guts out with his hands and cutting them. And he could do so much shit. Like it went right under the radar. It came out like right when PS3 came out, but it was decent, and it had a lot of Hawardi and stuff in it, you know. But
the last one the last game I bought was Arkham Origins for 360.
Okay.
And that was it for me. I was like, and then after that, you know, I got married and I started moving to daylight shift, and we had kids, and well, I just got too busy, like brewing beer and stuff, and hobbies and shit. I think my Xbox 360 like kind of fucked up, got that red ring of death, and I was just like, fuck it. In my late 30s, I need to be playing video games. Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's cool. Like I like to get a 40 and play. Like right now, I'm playing God of War. I've been playing it for like 10 years.
I had that. My favorite video games of all time were the PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation 2 years. Was like let's see, the Legacy of Kain games. Oh my god, Soul Reaver. Soul Reaver. I was just talking to somebody today. Like if I could ever get the rights to do that, I would blow people away. Because I mean, I know everything about Legacy of Kain. I would do it right. Because the last game was bullshit. I would just throw that away.
Bro, there's this YouTube channel where this dude just straight Legacy of Kain lore, blood only.
I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking?
I know exactly who you're talking.
I'm like,
about.
oh shit! Like I'll be drawn, listening to it. I love that lore, dude. And like for me, love it or hate it, whatever the fuck. To me, the closest like cinematic thing that's to that is Underworld 3: Rise of the Lycans.
Yeah,
and I love medieval vampires and werewolves. Like to me,
I would want to do the time when it was like the golden age, where there was all the lieutenants. You actually get to see the clans and how they operate, and Kane's like trying to plot like how to keep power and shit. It would be nice, and I would do a 3-issue backstory on Vorador. I'll tell you right there.
Oh yeah, man! I would love to see just the whole arc of Kane. You know who would
or
be
what the metamorphosis like across the years, and after like what led up to him Raziel being thrown in the pool.
Who would you cast as Kane and who would you cast as Raziel? Like I had who I would pick for a while, but now I'm like kind of like I don't know. Like Raziel,
I used to have
Johnny Depp. Okay, yeah, he's good. He was my pick for Joker. He's got that big fucking nose. And
I remember some fan art of that, and I was like, please let that happen. But
yeah,
Jared Leto.
What about Kane? So what about Kane?
Oh man, he put me on the spot. I don't know.
It's hard.
I tell you what, man.
I know for sure. Like I have
keep him away. What about the dude who plays Thor, like Chris Hemsworth?
Oh yeah, that's easy. He could do it, you know. But you know who I would pick? Sean Bean from Lord of the Rings.
That dude would kill it.
Right?
Right? Yeah, I would go with that. Yeah.
You kind of see it in his face, like he's good. Yeah. Like just seeing him in I don't know, he's in a lot of good stuff, you know.
That movie Equilibrium.
GoldenEye.
I mean, yeah. He gets killed in everything, the poor guy.
Yeah.
So let's let him live forever. Yeah. Let's let him have his time in the sun, so to speak.
I love that first Lord of the Rings, bro. Oh my god. I think that's the best one out of all 6 of them. I like those stupid fucking Hobbit movies too.
I'll tell you that the first time I ever saw that, it was late because I remember that came out around Christmas time.
Always, bro. I love it.
I had already joined the army, right? And I hadn't left yet. I joined the day after 9/11, and I didn't leave until actually my wife's birthday, which I didn't know she was gonna be my wife at the time. So that's like in late May. So I had this whole time to just like chill and party. And I'm like, I'm leaving for the army. I'll do what So we went and saw Lord of the Rings, and nobody was there, just me and my friend. And you know who my friend was? My wife's brother. That's how I met my wife. Like, I met her years ago, but we just didn't hook up until about 7-8 years ago. So we watched that. I mean, just blazed, and I mean, we were underage, so we brought in flasks.
Oh yeah.
Watched Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring for the first time in the front row. Him on one side of the theater, me on the other side of the theater. That was the closest I ever got to being like mega super stupid rich. Because like I was just sitting there with our feet up, we're like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I only read The Hobbit. I didn't read Lord of the Rings until after the movies came out. I read The Hobbit before I saw Lord of the Rings. So I'm not like I'm not like Lord Crackhead. I don't know everything about Lord of the Rings and stuff.
I don't either, man. I wish I did, to be honest with you. Yeah, and those dudes, they were getting, they were high as fuck in those movies too. The characters, and you're sitting there, eating and smoking and drinking and fighting some orcs. I mean, it's pretty badass.
And the makeup
dude.
in that was practical effects mostly too. They only did the CGI when it was like big battle and they had to like plot in a bunch of soldiers.
Well, I'm a big fan of the matte paintings. I love those matte paintings. And like even I know it's fake, but there's just something about it. I don't know if it's the canvas that makes it feel a little more organic, but if you get a good matte painting in there, sometimes sync it up. James Cameron, that's how he got his start. He was doing like RoboCop and a couple others. You were talking about brew, man. I was going to ask you, what's your favorite beer?
Oh man, that's tough too. The best beer and the best IPA in the country is Bell's Two Hearted Ale.
Never. I don't think I've ever had that.
Where you at? If you don't want to tell me.
I'm over in I'm in California, dude. LA County.
Okay, it should be there. You can have Firestone Walker there.
Firestone, yeah, that stuff's
I love
smooth.
that. They're good.
Smooth.
They're good.
And they're coming out. They got a Cerveza now. That's pretty bomb. To me, that's just like the best normie dad beer. You know what I mean? That you can pick up anywhere. It's that 805 and just like, almost freeze.
That's what I'm drinking now.
Sierra Nevada.
It's like they do this every year. It's like made with the fresh hops. They don't dry it or whatever. They just throw it in there. It tastes so much different.
Nice and dank, huh?
And it's almost like this color too. It's weird when you pour it.
They were doing a torpedo. I used to drink those a lot, but after a while I started getting a little bit of a headache from drinking it. I don't know why. Sometimes certain beers will do that to me, but I don't know, man. I don't have a personal favorite. I like a lot of the Polish and the Czech and the I like the porters and the stouts and the just the darker. I like the dark beers, even like the Negro Modelos. Those ones are bomb.
That was second place in, I guess, last summer. What's that say? Yeah, last summer I had a bourbon barrel aged stout.
Ooh, damn! That sounds.
I got second place in my category. Yeah.
So let's talk about your beer. You're brewing, right? Sorry.
Yep. I got if I could move my laptop without it cutting off, because it's one of these surface things that'll pop down. I got a New England IPA going in there right now.
Ooh, man. Those ones are pretty heavy too, huh?
And I'm good with those.
Yeah.
They're expensive though, man. I noticed like inflation's really gotten to the beer industry. Like
man.
Like what used to be an ounce for like $2.99 is like twice that.
Damn.
Yeah. And with a New England IPA, it takes a lot of hops, man.
Where do you get all your hops at? I mean, you got like local.
We get about 30 miles away. Like it's a town, a pretty big city. It's like University of Virginia's there. Charlottesville, it was big in the news after Trump or whatever, when that chick got mowed down, the protests or whatever. But there's a local place that produces grain, so I don't have to buy grain like online, because I was getting it from Northern Brewer, man. But like you had to buy, after the pandemic hit, you had to buy $57 worth of stuff, some arbitrary number, just to get the free shipping. And it's not their fault, because shipping costs around the globe are just outrageous.
Crazy, bro. Like you'll see when you start sending your books out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like to ship something over to down under, it's like $30, you know?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like non-digital books, but now I'm like fucking thinking about it, bro. Like if I put out another book someday, God willing, I might do a digital tier, because it's
I'm gonna do a digital tier. I got to, you know. I like a lot of the UK people in the Australian crowd.
Yeah, and some people might not want to run out to the garage and grab the fucking book, and they like one little like line that's in your book, and they want to just pull it up on their computer real quick. Yep. You know what I mean? Or just like a little scene. Oh, I like that part in the Mythicals. You know, I don't want to run out. You know, I don't want to get my.
And I'm gonna put both covers on the PDF too, so you can get both of those.
Yeah, dude. Or maybe. Oh, sorry. That both covers?
Yeah. So I mean, if you just want the art, you want like a wallpaper or something, or save it as a JPEG or whatnot. I don't care. You bought the digital stuff. It's yours.
Yeah, that's the way to go, man. I think it's awesome.
And like the guy who did Company Man, Lee Byron Carver, like Kemosabe.
Yeah.
He went to this guide. It's got it specifically a PDF to where you can read it, because some PDFs I've gotten, I'm like, I got to shrink it down. I move over here and it keeps going up. I'm like, this is annoying. And it's not their fault, but it's just annoying. And so like he got his done, and his is nice. This is perfect. You just swipe, and then it's very readable for your phone, because everybody's reading. Most people reading on their phone or a tablet.
Yeah, like for me, like the one thing I did like about digital when I first seen it, it was Old Man Logan. And I know that, most books are the same format now or whatever, but the one thing I liked about it is you didn't get the tell. You didn't get the, how you're always flipping the page and you see what happens. You didn't get that. And I like that. You can, it's almost like it's a reveal every fucking time.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I liked
like
about
you swipe or whatever, and the screen turns black, and then it pops up the next page.
And if you're swiping down, you can kind of see the top part of it. You know what I mean? So that was one thing I thought was really cool, and then if you could, sometimes I think that you would swipe and then a sound effect might come in where the page wouldn't swipe. Right. You would swipe in like a crash or a bang, boom. You know what I mean? And so that was a fun, like interactive experience, One thing I wanted to do, hopefully before I die, sounds kind of stupid, but I'm going to say it anyway. If someone wants to take the idea, go ahead. I wanted to make a pop-up section in my book. Pop-up books for kids. Well, I want to do that in my fucking graphic novel. I want to have a scene in there where it's like the big scene in the book or in the middle where you open it up.
Like a double splash.
And not tell nobody, and then they open it up. Oh, what the fuck? Have a couple of those. I thought that would have been pretty fucking awesome if I were to open something up, when the Hulk's smashing some dude or
like
a
big
fight
scene. They'd be perfect for fight scenes.
And
you get like a 3D panoramic view of like the whole thing. It's like opening up a Zack Snyder film.
Imagine that, and then you're like playing with the sword, and you're like, sounds kind of stupid, but I thought it would be kind of fun. Probably pretty pricey too. Always trying to think of something new, dude. Like some dudes did coloring books.
Gotta innovate, man.
You gotta think of something new. That's a lot of folding and this and that. DC did one too, but it was small. Yeah. But I would just want to do like maybe two. Because
I read them all the time. I got an 18-month-old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old.
I got a 4.5 and 18 months.
They keep you busy, huh? Running around.
Yeah. But it is cool when he's like, can I see a comic book? Like, I mean, he's all about it. I mean, I got all kinds of, I've been collecting comics and stuff like that for 30, plus years. So he knows the Thundercats and He-Man, and he's got all my old toys and stuff. I had to steal some of them back to put up here. But I mean, he's got a Captain America thing. He was Captain America for Halloween, which is cool because he's got blonde hair. It's cool because he's got blonde hair. I got him a shield on Amazon.
Me
legit,
too,
man. Yeah,
he's got a shield. Yeah, he's got a Batman costume, Spider-Man, and Captain America. Yeah, and like the shield, when you hit people, it's like,
that's cool.
It's like, oh damn. But like I try to like show him, you know what I mean, like because he's really obsessed with Batman right now, and when they get older, they're not gonna like your shit. They're gonna want like anime or whatever's cool because they need to have their comic. You know what I mean? Their sequential art, whether it's anime, whether it's manga. Comic books, graphic novels, whatever they're going to be doing, they're going to want to do their thing. But I want to instill in him like how badass American comics are, the format of that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I try to like, like kind of tease it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, but also like turn the kids onto it. Like my kids, they have respect for the comics and they like it. And for me, I make gory like fucking horror books. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be showing them what I'm doing all the time. I'm always like hiding and But
that's why I try to keep this like PG-13 in my book. Like there is some blood, but the only graphic language is like maybe asshole or dick or something like that, or shit, something PG-13. I'm not gonna, because at the end of the day, like I told my wife, it's like, this is something for my dad, my kids look back and point at this, pick up that comic, be like, my daddy did that. Right. How awesome would that be?
Oh, totally, man. And it's legacy. And also you're doing your job. Like you're putting it out there for the kids to have something that they can, show other friends and helps for the next generation. You know what I mean? So like you're pulling it out organically. You're not like, oh, I want to write it. Like for me, like right now in my life, if I was to go write like I'd like to do that, but I can't do it organically. Do like an all ages book, but it could be done. I know I could do it, but I still got a lot of fight of a lot of like metal gore and shit.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, this could be way more violent than it is. I mean, there in a couple issues there are some graphic scenes, but it's visually it's going to be to where you're like, oh, you're not seeing the shark, but if you're a mature reader, you know, you're going to be like, oh, damn.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah, you don't need all that gore and stuff like that. You don't have to have it. Like for me, like horror, dude, I like, most people have their little like styles that they like, you know, like my wife, she likes like the exorcism and the you know, the demon possession type stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'm like
which
a
I'm
Fright
cool with.
Night type of guy.
I like all of it.
Yeah.
I like the slashers. I like the classic horror stuff. I like the Hitchcock stuff. I like the demon stuff.
Man, I love Alfred Hitchcock. We have the same birthday.
Oh, really?
Not that that means anything, but I can say that. That's cool.
I like this, you know, like the action horror, like Freddy vs. Jason. Like, I like monsters like a lot. Monsters are fun, you know.
Monster Squad, I like that shit. I like that movie.
That movie's that's a good movie too to show kids.
Like kids, yeah.
You know,
Wolfman has nards.
Yeah, man. Well, shoot, man. It was awesome having you on today, brother.
Yeah, man.
Maybe when your book launches, if you want, hit me up. Maybe we could try to set up another show or something like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
I can't wait to see your campaign page, man. That's some more of the art, and the characters seem really cool. I like supernatural, like horror team books. I think
right. Yeah.
They're fun. So,
yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about your book, Mythicals?
It's going to be a fun ride, and you're going to be posed 2 questions. You're going to get an answer, and then 3 more questions.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. And what I like about it is you have, well, things, you know, with comics, things change all the time. You know what I mean? And that's, I'm still a greenhorn. Like I say on every show, I'm still learning. I'm trying to do the best I can every page.
Yep.
But I try to stay open-minded, you know, about things. But with, you know, the art, the story, the one-liners, the characters, what have you. But with you, you're talking, you got 12 issues, like definitive. 13. You know what I mean? And that's pretty cool, man. It sounds like I know that you have a vision and what you have laid out in your timeline. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I would, if I had unlimited fundage, I would do the first 2 scripts as a 48-page book, but kind of works better this way.
Yeah,
at least my goal is maybe to do 2 to 3, like that'd be nice.
Yeah,
great.
But it's cool that you have it lined up. It's ready to go, and you have a vision, and people know that, and you're serious about it, and it looks fucking bad. And I can't wait to check it out.
Far beyond driven.
Yep. So where can people find you at, man, out there on the web?
I'm just on Twitter, man, and I'm in the chats everywhere, pretty much. So you can find me on HW Desper on Twitter. I'm there. I'll answer.
Hell yeah, man. Sweet. Well, thanks again for coming on. Again, try to set something up next time. Thanks everybody for coming out and checking out the show. I really appreciate it. And everyone that's been watching, this is still like a new show. I'm still learning how to do it. And everybody out there, remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. You guys have a great day, and I'll be seeing you next time.